To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So, sitting in front of the fire today, this thing has become a real pain. As I have predicted it would in many previous videos, I have said many times that this stove, and all new stoves just like it, doesn't matter what you buy, has to have dry firewood. And that means when you take a stick of firewood, if you split it down the center and you take your moisture tester, if it's not at 20%, then this thing absolutely struggles to burn wood. I've really been fighting it since we ran out of dry wood. Now, I told you I was going to run out of dry wood. And as a result, the nightmare that I envisioned has come true. This piece of wood that is in the stove right now is 27%. And you're thinking, my goodness, look at that. It's burning really nice. No, the door's open. As soon as I shut the door, the flame dies. That's the only way to get this thing to work. Well, imagine how dangerous that is. Sparks can come out. You can't do that at night. So this thing is requiring constant maintenance, constant attention to stay warm. Rob, go out and buy a diesel heater. Rob, go out and buy a propane heater. Why? I got free right here. It just is being a little cantankerous. Now next year, not going to have to deal with this. Everything's going to be dry. But I knew I could do it. I knew I could get through this winter with the mess that I got. Because I don't say I can't do it. I find the problems that I'm going to have, and then I identify solutions to those problems. I used to be a manager of an organization, and I would not allow my employees to ever tell me what the problems were. But they always had to come to me with the solution. And so that's what you do, is you identify the solutions. Once you see that there's an issue, you identify the solutions, and then it's no longer a problem. So when we started preparing to live off-grid, I've told you this story before too, but this is all important information. So I can get to the base of what I want to talk about here. One of the things that people had a real difficult time grasping was how I was going to run my well. Now, I've been doing it for a year, everybody understands it. My subscribers went to other channels complaining that I was not listening to them, that it wasn't going to work. That I'm going to burn up the pump, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to have this problem, and this problem. Well, here it is, like I said, a year later, and I've not had one issue with the well pump. Now, granted, we've had some issues with the well itself. The well has a crack in the, heck, even before we bought the property, I said, you know, I wanted to spend less than $10,000 on a piece of property with a well, septic tank, or a stream, or something, so it'd have water on it. And you'd be absolutely amazed. You're never going to find property like that. It's impossible to find property like that. Well, here we have found it. $4,200 for an acre and a half. It's got lots of wood line. You've seen it a zillion times before. I've walked you through the woods. It's beautiful. So it can be done. I remember as a nomad, people were saying, I can't afford rent, I can't afford rent. And I kept telling everybody, before I became a nomad, I was spending $350 a month in rent for 8 acres and a house. You can do it. It can be done. You just got to find the solution. And the solution is you find an old guy who's got his mom and dad's property. He doesn't want to let it go because it's sentimental. He doesn't want to have to move into it because it's too drafty. And he doesn't want to cut the grass. And so he says, yeah, you cut the grass and take care of the yard, that kind of thing, just normal stuff. $350. Oh, wow. I mean, you can hunt on it. It was amazing. And there's opportunities like that all over the place. And so finally we come to the tiny house. And I by now should have been able to prove to all the viewers out there, the subscribers and the people who just watch occasionally, that there is nothing that's going to get in my way. I can do anything I set my mind to. I can. Because I choose to find solutions and not problems. So we come up to the tiny house, and as soon as we started building the tiny house, I mean, the instant we started building the tiny house, people told me, oh, you can't do that. You can't do it. We use 2x4s for the floor. No, you can't do that. It won't work. Although everything that I read online from reputable people that you should be able to trust, you know, construction workers, Bob Vila, this old house, they all said you could run 2x4s on a trailer frame because the trailer frame is what holds all the weight, not the 2x4s. The 2x4s is just something you can screw into. So we got past that. And then we started building the walls, and they found a million different problems that you're having. This window by now should have already broke from the enormous amount of weight that has been applied to it, according to, I don't know, thousands of people, because it doesn't have the proper header on it. You don't have the proper header. And like I said, Bob Vila and this old house and construction workers are all sailing on windows that have the gable for the truss doesn't have to have a header. Now, this window does have a header because it has the bearing weight of the trusses on it. And I've tried to argue the point. I've tried to prove the point. We're living in the house. The window's not broke. I can still open the window. Watch, I can open the window. I'll do it with the camera on like that. Look, one-handed, looking at the camera, 2 fingers. It works. And people told me as soon as I put the roof on, or if we had a snow, which we've had 2, that this window would not be able to open. And there it is. The trusses. This building's 12 foot across. And again, I used 2x4s. This is what amazed me, was people were telling me the trusses weren't going to work, even though I bought the design offline by engineers who build trusses for a living. And I was able to build trusses myself off this design using 2x4s. And I can climb up there and it holds my weight just fine. That's what's so interesting, is people are so quick to say, no, we can't do it, that they've already shut down the idea of ever doing it. And you're never going to be able to live your dream as soon as you shut it down. Now, finally, here we are. We're on to our next stage of life, and we're going to start growing our own food. Carolyn just got some heirloom seeds. We were going to get chickens. We just ordered chickens, so they should be here next week, early next week, I guess. And you know what was funny? When I said we were going to order chickens, somebody said, don't order them in the winter. They'll die in shipment. And so I emailed the company that's going to ship them. And I said, how do you handle winter shipments? Obviously, you're selling, and I don't see a list of complaints of your organization. How are you shipping them in the winter? And they said, oh, we put it in a double insulated box, and we put a heating pad in it, and you got to pick it up in 24 hours at the post office when they call you. So, I mean, immediately, people are already saying, you can't get chickens in the winter. No, can't do it. They're going to die. But how is this possible? Think of, if you really consider what you're saying that a company is selling you a product that is going to die before you get the product, and they're still in business. They send me dead chickens, I'm calling and complaining. So no, they're not going to send you dead chickens. You got to stop saying you can't and start saying, well, how do they do that? Obviously, there's a solution to this problem, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it, right? Well, then we bought a chicken tractor, and we've decided it's just not going to be big enough. We don't want to have our chickens all cooped up 24 hours a day. They will sleep in the chicken tractor at night, and then during the day, I'm building a run, and I showed you that I'm building a run out of PVC and chicken wire. I really do think all the commenters told me that's not going to work. And I got emails and complaints that raccoons and cats and dogs and coyotes are going to kill my chickens. But nobody was coming up with solutions unless it was spend lots of money. And I don't understand that. I'm spending $34 for 10 chickens. And they want me to spend hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars to keep these chickens from dying. Well, if I got to spend that much on chickens, I'm just going to go to the store and buy eggs, because there is absolutely no way the chickens are ever going to pay for this confinement to keep raccoons out. When my little PVC thing, I know for a fact, works. Because we had a similar thing 4 years ago. Before Carolyn and I were nomads, we had chickens. Before Carolyn and I met, she had chickens and I had chickens and ducks. And I had a similar setup each time. Now the thing is when you start to see a problem, you have to address the problem. And I just started building the thing, and immediately, can't do it. This is why I think people get so stuck on not being able to accomplish their dream. I did have one commenter say, boy, my husband is really going to enjoy this video. He would like to get chickens, but we could never find a cost-effective way of doing it. So I find it very strange that anybody who has followed my channel for any length of time would ever consider the idea that what I'm doing, I haven't already thought about all the potential problems and identified solutions to those potential problems. And if those potential problems continue to exist, I continue to work the problem until the problem goes away. But the tiny house should have proven this to you. I told you I was going to build a tiny house for $5,000 on a trailer, but at some point, I really would like for you to start to understand and be inspired that you can do it too. Instead of saying, that can't be done, I don't have the money to do it the right way, and start thinking about how you can do it, I hope I can inspire you to find solutions to your potential problems. Thanks for watching.